Girl, get in here, get in here, get in here. It's season 3 with Akilah and Zakkiya. Get in here, y'all. We have got some things to talk about. This episode is called Danger for a reason. Okay. This is danger in the dating apps. And we want you
so
to
extra.
be aware. No, I want you to be safe, honey, because these men are unhinged. Y'all are not ready for the story I'm about to tell y'all.
For the follow-up, right? Because we already know a little bit about this guy, but they keep coming back and the follow-up is real. So yes, when she said we were going to talk about danger this week, I was like, yeah, we got to tell them. Like, this isn't cool, guys.
No. Okay, so I was going to say that let's catch you up, but in fact, let's go back to season 3, episode 1, where I first bring up this guy that I'm about to talk about in this episode, just to catch you all up, just in case you haven't seen it, so you have a little context.
Maybe it was our
fault.
We're talking about. Maybe it was our fault because we did talk about him and laugh a little bit about him.
So, I don't know if I'm going to accept that. I don't really know if I'm going to accept that. Hold on. Yeah, no. Oh, I had one, and this is the one y'all got to be aware of, okay? This is the man who has said all the right things, looked great, but I'm almost certain was homeless and was looking to think that he could slang good D. And if he had good D, that I was going to move this man into my house.
He was a cutie, though. He was nice looking.
He was a cutie, but he also sent unsolicited dick pics. And
he did. And
he sent a video of him finishing.
He did.
Finishing.
And sir,
unsolicited.
I would just like to add that I saw it too. Look, he was already giving real sketchy vibes anyway, correct?
He was, which is why we blocked him and we never heard from him. Okay.
Right.
So y'all, when I originally met him, that was this summer. So that was back in early August. After I blocked him after that, I never heard from him again. So fast forward to, it's now November, you all. And I sent Keela a text early this week and I was like, girl, you are not going to believe what just happened. Guess who just showed up? So it started this way. Hold on. It started with a text. And it completely threw me off because it says, good morning. I've been saved your number since you gave it to me. I still wanna we need to make up. I read this and I was like, who is this? Because it's just an unknown number. I reply and I say, who is this? Right. They then respond with their name, a name that they never told me the first time I met them back in August, and then said, unblock my iCloud, and showed his email address. And that's how I knew who it was, because the name that he told me he was in this text message is not the name he gave me. So when I saw the email address and I was like, this is homeless dick pic. What could he possibly be reaching out to me for? And make up? What do you mean make up? There was nothing to make up, right? So I'm in the car. I just ignore it, right? So I don't say anything. I'm in the car driving, and then I start getting phone calls back to back to back. And I realize it's this unknown number from him, right? And I was like, sir, like I just hit like decline. But he was calling back to back to back. So I finally like answer it. And I answer it like this, straight like, please do not call my phone again. And he's like, yo, wait a minute, why not? And I was like, because I just politely asked you not to call my phone again. And this man is like, yeah, but we have things we need to talk about. I was like, there's nothing we need to talk about. Don't call my phone again. Click. I hang up the phone. Rings me right back. I ignore it. Rings me right back. Again, I ignore it. Rings me again. By this time, I pick up the phone and I was like, another side came out, right? It was like scene and go, right? It goes, I'm like, I asked you not to call my number again. And he's like, yo, we have some things to talk about. And I think I need to put you in your place because you don't seem to remember the conversation
God.
we had. And
He
I was
is
like,
acting like y'all was in a full-blown relationship. Like,
yeah, for
what?
like a year. Like I left him at the altar or something. And I was like, what? And he's like, I have all of our text messages, honey. I have them all saved. And I said, okay. And he was like, don't make me put you in your place. Don't make me expose you on the T app. And I was like,
The what?
I don't give a fuck about the T app. Now, the T app, if you don't know what it is basically an app that was created for people to expose
Oh my God.
people who have done them wrong in
This is
relationships.
so funny.
So this man is trying to threaten me with my text messages by saying that he's going to put it on the T app. I don't care. I know what our text messages were. We were flirting back and forth. He was a handsome young guy. I was feeling like, well, let me enjoy this little flirting. I never sent him anything inappropriate. I never said anything inappropriate. So I was also like, who cares? What could you possibly say?
Is the T app for young people or something?
I think it's for anyone. No, I've heard of it. Because when it first came out, it was like, everybody was going to check to the T because I think you put someone's name in. And if anybody has put an entry about them, it all comes up. And so I think I've never been to it, but I think there's pictures, text, anything. You can include anything about what happened between y'all. And it was meant to be formed. The intention behind it was so that people could stay safe and not like deal with people like this because they could be a little bit crazy, right? Okay. Anyway, so he threatened me put on it. I was like, I don't care. I was like, you know what? If that makes you happy, go ahead and do it. So then when he realized he wasn't getting to me and threatening me with a T app, he goes, you know, when you were working and you took my phone call, don't make me expose you. And I was like,
when you were working.
Expose me for what, sir? I am so confused. Like, what kind of job do you think I have that I can't take phone calls during the day?
That's my thing. What kind of job do you think we have? Like, we always answer phone calls at work.
He don't know because he doesn't have one. So he wouldn't know. And that was so very clear. So then he goes,
Sir.
So here's the thing. So then he goes, when he realizes that's not getting to me, and I was like, because he was like, yo, my nigga. I was like, I'm not your nigga. And I was like, and also don't call my fucking phone again. Now I'm pissed off, right? My heart is elevated. My heart rate is elevated. I'm like pissed off that this man is like violating me. He takes it a step further and goes, so remember on the apps, you have like your location or your city. And he goes, don't make me come up to, says my city name and put you in your goddamn trunk.
I'm sorry. It's not funny, but sir, who are you threatening?
So in a matter of few minutes.
You don't even have a car, sir. How you get into my city?
Or a house. Or a job or some money, because it went from good morning, I still want to sleep with you, to I'm going to expose you on the T app, bitch. I'm going to put you in the trunk. How the hell, y'all, can you go through this like emotional roller coaster of like, okay, let me see if I still got it in. Oh, she don't like me. Oh, okay, well then I'm just going to threaten her life.
I'm going to take it to another level.
Okay. I was like, don't call me again. So at that point, because I'm driving, I can't like maneuver on my phone to block him. And so I hang up. He calls a couple times. I just decline them. And then he texts me, y'all. Wait, y'all not gonna read the text that he then sends me is, hey, we need to talk. Who needs to talk? Sir, you just threatened my life. And now we need to talk. So again, eventually he gets the idea. He stops calling, stops texting. But the minute I was going through this, I knew what this was. This man was about to try to extort me. He thought that I was going to be scared that my information was going to T-app. But again, remember, I knew I had never sent him anything that I would be embarrassed by if it were to get out, right? So when that didn't work, then he threatened me. I think he thought I was going to get this man some money or a place to stay or something to like leave me alone. And I was like, this man is a full-blown scammer. This man is a scammer. I was like, he left me alone for 3 months, probably because he found someone to take care of him. And then she put him out or was like, I'm done with you. And now he ain't got no money. He ain't got no job. He ain't got no place to stay. And so he's like, let me see who I can hit up after 3 months and see if I can like scare her into possibly giving me some money. Ladies, beware. Okay.
Correct.
Beware.
Now this is
unhinged.
This is all speculation, right? Like we don't know, what his motives were, but just based off of the behavior, I'm gonna have to agree with you. Like, what did you expect after 3 months? And first of all, when you were talking to him, what, 2 days? I think
the whole thing was maybe. No, I think it was the same day, the first day that we took it off the app, because that's when he was like, you need to multitask for your children. And so that was when I was like, so we talked for a day, y'all. A day.
Right. And he clearly sent the dick pic and the dick photo and the video all that same day. Mm-hmm. And then you blocked his number, don't hear from him. And then he calls you with this behavior of like psychotic. To me,
violent.
I mean, it just
violent behavior.
Before we get to the violence that he can never act on, because again, you don't have a car, sir. Like,
you don't know where
we can even get there. You're mental. Like you clearly need help. And I just want to tell all the women, like, that right there is what we need to safeguard ourselves against, especially on these dating apps, especially. Like, I think that's what made him, be able to kind of go off, because you never met him. You didn't have ties to him.
Didn't have his real name. Yeah.
Didn't even know this man's real name. Yeah. And he was going off. So when you said we got to warn the people, I said, yes, we do.
Danger. It's dangerous, y'all. Like, and I say this because this is probably yes, it is assumption, but I am pretty sure that's what his goal was, to try to get money out of me. But he's probably
or a roof over his head. Money or a roof.
Worked. Right. Because again, he led with sex first. He was like, let me see if I can get in that way. I can't get in that way. Okay, now I'm going to threaten her. And I can't get in that way. Now I'm really going to threaten violence against her because my back is against the wall that hard that like I'm strapped for cash or place to stay kind of thing. And it now makes so much sense when I think about what we did talk about. He was like, oh yeah, I move, I travel, I go here and there. And I was like, oh, you go wherever someone is going to take care of you.
Yeah.
Until they get sick of you. Mm-hmm. And then, but the thing is, I'll say about these apps is you have to be very careful about, not using your last name, not putting anything identifying. Like I never put where I worked. I never put like the city that I actually lived in. I did like the area in which you like live in, because at this point you just need to be safe. But it also, for me, was a lesson in discernment of like who I actually give my phone number to, because the thing about the first time that he reached out to me, I had given my phone number and he like texted me through like a text messaging app through his email. So there was a way for him to get around my block, because I was trying to block the number, but I couldn't like block the email address. It was weird before I could really like stop him from contacting.
That man was on a tablet. Let me tell you. That man was on a tablet. He didn't have no phone, because that's what before the kids got their cell phone, they had the tablets, right? And you got to be on
more
Wi-Fi.
Evidence, you guys. Look. More evidence to the homelessness and the like hard up and strapped up for cash kind of thing. Because I was like, how can I get, so anyway, again, and this was a new number that he sent me from. And like, I guess he just got a catalog of saved numbers of people he want to extort when he needs some money. But it just like, it's funny because afterwards, like, I was like, okay, let me reset my nervous system, because after we got off the phone, after he threatened me, I was like, oh my gosh, you have to. Like, so I had to reset my nervous system. And then I did, if you've been with us since season 1 and season 2, I did what I should have done a while ago and released my ancestors on his ass. And I was like, you
That
know
part.
what? He
That
don't
part.
threaten my life, which threatens my children's life. I'm gonna let y'all handle this on the spiritual realm because y'all can do far more than I can on the physical plane. So
Because we're
I
not
ain't
even
even
going to
worried
try to
about him.
find him.
I
Right.
don't
He can't
care.
find us. We don't want to find him.
But
Your
my
threats
ancestors know exactly where he
where
is,
he's
and
at.
they will come for him. And that's what I am. I'm leaning on the faith of that. But I wanted to share the story really so that women are aware of the things you do. But another thing I have to stress is do not send nudes, ladies, because
Oh,
had I sent that man a nude, I probably would have been a little bit worried about what he was going to release, right? And so I may have
right.
been, I could have easily found myself a victim and being like, okay, I'll give you a couple $100 to never share that picture. But once he's got the picture, he always has the picture. So there's like
Absolutely.
no reason he
Absolutely.
can't keep coming back and asking. So I would just, ladies, be very, very, very careful about the kind of photos that you send to someone, especially people that you really don't know. It just is not worth it. And the reason he did it is because it's worked before. He has
Oh,
been
sure.
able to do this before. And
Oh,
you
sure.
see all those little like documentaries on Netflix and Prime about like scammers getting scammed out of money. But like this was extortion. This was his attempt to extort me because he thought I cared what somebody thought about me on the T app.
Absolutely not. And I'm agree with you on the nudes, right? Like even with my little boyfriend, right? He did send me, a photo of because, we were at that point, right? And I remember like saying, "Oh, thank you." But then I had to go ahead and let him know, "I'm sorry, but I don't send nudes." I said, and I let him know I'm a mother. I'm somebody's mama. You know what I mean? Like
That
the
part.
fact that, something like that can get out and just disgrace my whole image. And my kids would come to me looking
And
like, "Mama,
embarrass your
what
children.
is you
Yeah.
doing out here?" Like I'm trying to date, but I'm not dating that. I'm not trying to date that seriously. Like it's not worth it. And so I just
It's
remember
not.
like having to tell him like this was real cute. Thank you, boo. But you're not getting one from me. And he
No.
respected it. And I think
I'll
I
see you
think
in
all
person,
men
boo.
would.
You can see it all in person, but
Right.
I'm
Let's
not sending
wait.
digital photos. Yeah, yeah. So, ladies, just be careful out here. Be careful with your
Yes.
location, where you actually work. Also, where you live. Do not
Mm,
invite these men to your home too quickly because that's your safe
absolutely
space. That's
not.
our last safe space and your place of peace. And you want to honor and guard that. So be careful with who you give your address out to because you just don't know. I'm telling y'all, I have had, now he makes two people that I have taken it, that I took it off the app with, that I'm grateful do not know where I live and do
Yeah.
not know where I work and don't know any of that extra information because y'all showed psychotic behavior, dangerous behavior. So
And as much as I love, a good old school date, like my man coming to pick me up in the car, ringing the doorbell, me putting on my coat, walking out the door. As much as I love me an old school date, y'all, I can't do it. Not in 2025.
not for a
We're
first
going to
date, maybe
meet
not a second or a third, but
that
maybe.
part too. We're
Yeah.
going to meet at the restaurant and we're going to stay there and you're going to kiss me on my cheek. When
I'm
we
gonna get
get
in
to the
my car.
car, I'm going to get in my car, you're going to get in yours, and we're going to have to, pick this up
Peace.
again at another
Yeah.
restaurant. Right?
And
Like it's
it's
just not
sad
worth it.
because I had one guy say, like, he's like, "Oh, can I pick you up?" And I was like, "No, you can't.
Mm-mm,
Like, I'll meet you at the
mm-mm.
restaurant." And because like it's unfortunate because I would love an old school guy who would come and pick me up and bring me flowers
Right?
and all this stuff and not have to drive. I would love not to have to drive, right?
Right. Oh, that part.
But it's just not safe. There are too many instances of women's homes being violated by men. I heard that one story, one where like a guy moved in, or she invited a guy back from the club, and then he didn't didn't want to leave, and he was like, "Nah, I'm here." And so she
What?
called, she called her brother, like, "Come over."
Come and
Sorry.
get this fool.
Come over and get him out of my house. But the worst part was, and if I can find this, y'all, I'll link it in the description because it's hilarious. It was like a Reddit thread. So someone's like reading the Reddit thread. The worst part was when the brother came to get him out, he beat up the brother. And he didn't do it, but it was like the threat of doing it, of being like, this is why, like, this could have been that guy that I was just talking about who was just trying to get in my home, and then be like, I'm not leaving. Like, you just don't know, ladies. Like, we have to be like, you got to use discernment. And like, and you really have to, like, but the guy who ended up standing me up, and then, you know, first there was one date that didn't happen, and then the second date that obviously didn't happen. I remember, and I kept saying to him, like, to my spiritual guides, I was like, if this date is not supposed to happen, make it be known. Like, make it very clear to me. So when the first one got canceled, and then the second one he stood up, I was like, okay, y'all have said very clearly this was never supposed to happen. Enough. And it wasn't, because literally he showed like very psychotic behavior the next day as well. So I just have to say, like, you have to use your discernment. If you're going to use dating apps, I know it makes it sound like I'm like, don't ever do a dating app. And it's not that I'm saying not to do it, because I do think it has opened me up to this idea of dating and teaching the universe that I'm open to dating and what I'm looking for. I just think you have to do it very carefully and very thoughtfully and intentionally to keep yourself safe, ladies, because it would not be worth it.
Yeah. I mean, the whole point of the dating app is to, you know, find someone, find your love. But also, I think some people are on there and are very desperate, right? Like, they are in a desperate state where anything goes. And so it's very important too. I think a really good question to ask, you know, when you're dating someone from these dating apps is, how long have you been on the app, right? Like, because I think a lot can come out of that answer. It's almost like an interview question. Like, if you are unemployed and you go there, and then you're like, you know, the interviewer asks you, you know, well, how long have you been, you know, unemployed? It's because we need to understand, like, what I need to gauge your level of desperate right now, right? Like, where are you at in this dating scene? And so I would also make sure y'all asking that.
But also to understand how successful or unsuccessful they have been with matching, right? So if a guy's like, oh, I've been doing this for 2 years, how many dates have you been on in those 2 years? And none of them, okay, that's just something to think about. Not to say, like, listen, I've been single for so long, so someone could be like, you're divorced and you're single, like, you don't prove like that you know, worthy of dating or whatever. And that's fine. I just think I think there is something to, like, how long have you been on a date? Okay, well, how long? Because a couple guys that I spoke to, like, they said that they started relationships from the app that lasted like several months. I think the longest one I heard was like for like a year or so. So, like, okay. And I understand, like, based on me and our age, I don't feel like a lot of us go out. I just don't feel like people in their 40s are like, oh, I want to go out and try to meet someone. So it would make sense that we're all on dating apps for people that like to go home and sit on their couch, but still want to meet someone. So a dating app is the easiest way to do that. So yeah, I'm not saying don't do them. I'm just saying to do them cautiously and thoughtfully, and make sure that your safety is paramount when you do it. Because I still have enjoyed it. In 30 days, y'all, we've gotten a whole season of experience of me doing 30 days on an app. But I wouldn't not do it again. Even everything that I went through, even with crazy that I just told, it's an experience that gave me an opportunity to teach someone else how to do it better and how to do it safer. So
I agree.
No regret. Life is meant to be lived and experienced, and that's what I'm doing. So,
and now we get to share our experiences with you. And so that's what we wanted to do. I said, the people got to hear this.
I was like, and you know what? I was like, I feel like because we've leaned into this like theme for this season for the podcast with like dating, the universe is like, oh, okay, I got material for you. Give me 1 second. I'm going to throw something at you, because when we come back next week, y'all, I'm going to tell y'all about how I went from hardly any dates to doing 2 dates on one day. Thank you so much for tuning in to Get In Here. I'm your host, Zakkiya.
And I'm Akilah.
Peace. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye. Girl, this was everything. Let's pick this back up next Friday.
Bye, girl.